Stop me if you've heard this before, but the Boston Bruins got into penalty trouble and lose 5-2 to the Dallas Stars. The Bruins are 3-4-1 and are officially on a 3-game skid. Montgomery threw the lines into a blender once again, and we got the same outcome. I'm going to break down the game, share my thoughts, and once again, ask the question to you. What are your thoughts on the Boston Bruins 5-2 loss to the Dallas Stars in Game 8 of the NHL season? So buckle up, Bruins fans. I'm here to give you the latest info on your beloved Boston Bruins. If you've been liking my Bruins content, please leave me a like and subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you, and let's get into it. Before the game, Marchand and Montgomery said all the right things to the media.
Well, what I do is I'm a process-oriented coach, and there's certain things that drive results. And our process isn't really good right now. And that's what we continue. If you're going to want your team to be consistent, I have to be consistent in my messaging. You know, we've given up too many odd man rushes, and most of them are derived from turnovers. That's not us being patient with our offensive game. And then we're taking too many penalties. So when you factor those, and all those things are part of our process that lead to results. And our results are grade A chances, and we're not hitting our numbers there right now.
Everyone talked about discipline. They said they need to be better. We all see that it's a home game, and we hope for the best. Montgomery moved Kepke onto the second line and broke up the best line on his team, and the only one that drove offense. He's been changing up the lines almost every game. He takes out Lowry, the one guy that moves the puck up the ice from the back end, to put in Wotherspoon. I will admit, Wotherspoon is much better defensively, but you have 5 other guys on your back end who aren't playing the best, and you take out the one guy driving offense from the back end when the team is having trouble scoring goals right now. I would think a better message would take out someone else like Zadorov or Lindholm to send that message. If you watch the first period from last night's game, you think, hey, the Bruins are in this one. They come out flying, but in fact, don't get the first penalty of the game. Dallas does, and Boston is on the power play. But Dallas is the one that gets the best scoring chance during it. But good news is, Swayman comes up with some big saves because of poor decisions from the Bruins players. As I was watching the period, I started to notice the Bruins give away the puck over and over again. It wasn't one guy on the team doing it, but the end of the first period, the Bruins have already had 13 giveaways, but only 12 shots on net. I watched one sequence where McAway gives away the puck, gets it back, only to throw a pizza up the middle for another giveaway, but Swayman comes to his rescue. It was hard to watch because you know the team is better than this. You see a couple nice shifts and some pressure, but always get deflated with a turnover. Then the parade to the box starts. But it happens for both teams. Marchand with a high stick on his former teammate Tyler Seguin, but then the man famously, who won't go down, Jamie Benn, honestly, just Google it, you'll thank me later, gets 4 minutes, and the Bruins are no longer on the PK, and we now have 4-on-4 hockey. Poitras makes a nice heads-up play and intercepts the puck behind the Stars' net and feeds Pastrnak out front, and it's 1-0 Bruins. We're all feeling good, and we think maybe we're in for a different hockey game. This is Pasternak's 5th goal of the season so far, so for everyone calling him to do more, what more do you want this guy to do? He's paid to score goals, and he's doing so. The Bruins don't pay him for his two-way game. You take the bad defensive plays because you know he will score. The problem is the guys around him are pretty yikes right now. He's 14th in the league right now with 5 goals in 8 games. He's actually tied for 9th, but the way they show it, it shows 14th. So I'm going with 14th. Pastrnak is not the problem, and dare I say, one of the guys actually doing what he's paid to do. After that goal is scored, Marchand comes out of the box, and the Bruins are on the power play. But during that time, Swayman has to come up with 2 big saves because of giveaways from Bruins players. Again. I can't even make this stuff up, but the game isn't over yet. Instead of giving life from being up 1-0 and putting Dallas on their heels, we see the opposite happen. Dallas becomes tighter on the forecheck. They get to lose pucks first. They're skating and continue to move their legs, and not too long after that, Matt Duchene, who is a Bruins killer by the way, gets a goal, and it's 1-1. I would love to know what Swayman saw on this one because it looks like he lost tracking of the puck. In 27 career NHL games against the Boston Bruins, Matt Duchene has 21 points, 8 goals, and 13 assists. And he played in the West most of his career, so it could be a lot worse. Before the end of the period, Zadorov has a huge hit on Benn, and I'm like, maybe there's a chance the Bruins are going to come out flying in the second. During the first period, NESN had their new show on NESN Plus with Tuukka, Bergeron, and Raycroft, who watch along to the game to show their reaction to watching the game, and I couldn't help but laugh because they look just like the rest of us watching that period. Now we start the second period, and this is when the game unravels for the Boston Bruins. 11 seconds in, David Pastrnak gets a hooking penalty that never needed to happen because it didn't stop the Dallas player from going in on Swayman for a scoring chance, but Swayman stands tall. Not too long after that, though, the Bruins have 2 chances to clear the puck and don't. Dallas puts on a puck-moving clinic, and Robinson scores on the power play, giving Swayman no chance, and it's 2-1 Dallas. At this point, Montgomery puts Koepke back on the fourth line, but at this point, you have no rhythm in the game. I don't expect these guys to have any either, as their lines get switched up so often. They don't know if they're coming or going at this point. After a bunch more giveaways from the Bruins and scoring chances to the Stars, Wotherspoon gets an interference penalty because he was caught out of position and the Stars are on the power play again. The Bruins PK looks lost and can't corral pucks. When they get a chance to clear, they shoot it right back at the Stars players, making it easy for them to keep control, and they pass it around. Duchesne is able to dance around the Bruins players, feeding Stankoven out front, and it's 3-1. Dallas with their second power play goal of the game. Not too long after, though, Pastrnak once again can't control a stick and gets his second penalty of the game and gets a tripping penalty, another pointless stick infraction. You get the feeling this one is going to hurt, and it does, as Dallas scores their third power play goal of the game, and it's 4-1 Dallas. At this point, Swayman doesn't look good either, and it looks like a guy being hung out to dry by his teammates. The Bruins once again get into penalty trouble. No shock. By the end of the game, they still lead the league in penalty minutes with 110, and their PK is now 77%, which none of these things is good. After the game, Michael Sullivan from the Something Bruins podcast posted that the Bruins have played 408 minutes of hockey this season so far, and 27% of that time has been on the PK, which isn't sustainable. There's no way the Bruins expect to win hockey games if they spend the whole time on the PK. Before the period is over, Justin Brazeau goes to the net and doesn't give up on a play and scores on the power play to make it 4-2. The third period isn't much better. You see the Bruins continue to give away the puck over and over again, but the good news is they only get one penalty that period, but give up an empty net goal to lose 5-2 to the Dallas Stars. By the end of the game, the Bruins have 22 giveaways and 10 penalty minutes. Now, Dallas has 20 giveaways, but Boston does nothing with their opportunities from Dallas giveaways, and in fact, a lot of the time, they gave the puck right back to Dallas. Before the game, we hear Marchand talk about what they need to do to win the game, but after the game, we hear for the first time what sounds like excuses, but I think a lot of truth to them.
You guys haven't gone through this early in the season before, or at least recently for a while. Can you feel something different, Brad, right now? Like, is there something different with the team?
Sometimes it's just tough to. You have a lot of turnover a couple years in a row. You're trying to find that chemistry, and obviously there's a lot of guys that miss important days in camp. That can change how a team comes together, but it's early, and like I said, a lot of the mistakes that we're making and the reasons that we feel we're losing is because of our lack of respect for the game and consistency in details. And those are things you can fix. When you have a lack of effort and guys just not caring, that's a whole different issue, and that's not what we have. So it's something we work through. Usually, when you go through stints like this, you need to work your way out of it and kind of simplify a bit. You saw in kind of the late second or third. At that point, we had already shot ourselves in the foot with penalties and stuff like that. But when we play the right way, we're a good team right now. We're having a harder time. Understand that we need to do that all the way through the game, and we need to be better on our special teams, our PK, our PP, and if we do that, again, there's a lot of areas you can point at right now to be better, but it's a process, and we understand that in here. So, we're not going to look at the record or any individual game and get down. It's about understanding the areas we need to be better and chipping away at that. This is a hard league. It's going to be pretty quick, and if any team thinks that they're just going to roll through, they got another thing coming. So it's a great opportunity for us to, take advantage of it and be better and enjoy that process of working and just simplifying. So we'll be all right.
Marchand talks about how a lot of guys miss camp, which is true, and that the team has had a ton of turnover in the past couple years. To compound this, a lot of guys took nights off during the preseason, and the lines didn't get time to gel. And now during the start of the season, Montgomery is showing us a different look night in and night out. He had Poitras on the wing, who didn't look bad out there, but he also looked like a guy that was out of position a lot, which I think can be expected. Dallas is a very fast team and skates with the puck and plays a very good transition game, so it was bound to make Poitras look lost at times out there, playing a new position. When you hear guys like Pastrnak after the game talk about focusing on details, which you can tell is what Montgomery said to the guys after the game, you can tell the guys don't have answers right now.
Get a couple of losses in a row, and definitely you start squeezing your stick a little bit instead of maybe focusing on details and remember, kind of go back to the details and remember, we have a good team in here. And so definitely, yeah, it's a good point.
You've been in this situation before with teams where nothing's going right and everybody's struggling. And a bunch of guys have been in this room and have won before, having a hard time getting on top of their own game. And
yeah, totally. Up to us. We need to. You can still say it's early, but definitely, we know we got much better. I think that's why you can see a little frustration too in the team, because we expect it's a high standard in this wearing the spoke B. It's an honor, so it's a high standard here. So definitely, that's why you see that frustration. But it's up to us, like you said, all the guys, leaders, to kind of bring it back and focus on details and get on the winning streak.
Did you take too many penalties tonight, David?
Yeah, there's no question. That's definitely, I took 2 penalties. I honestly I can't remember taking this many penalties in my career as it is this season. I think that first penalty, you kind of can't leave it. You try just to take him down, but the second one honestly is unfortunate. I think I was trying to go puck. Spirit guy definitely bet on my part and can put the team short-handed situation twice in one game. So yeah, I definitely took too many penalties today, and definitely need to take care of my stick.
They're all going to be pretty much say the same thing to reporters because no one likes to lose. Pastrnak looks dejected in that clip and frankly, pissed off. Montgomery after the game continued to say the team lacked discipline, which is 100% true. And this is what is killing the team right now. It kills momentum each game, and because they're getting scored on so much on the PK, it's deflating as well. The Bruins are playing one of their division rivals on Saturday night, who aren't playing good hockey themselves right now. The Bruins always seem to be up for a game against Toronto, and my guess is Korpisalo will get the start and Swayman will not, because he's played the last 2 games and truly hasn't looked great. If the Bruins lose again on Saturday night, and their effort just isn't there, some fingers, and rightfully so, need to be pointed at Montgomery. Cam and Dom can't fire the players, and I'm not saying Montgomery will get fired soon, but the noise will get louder around him, and it won't just be the fan base calling for him anymore. Edmonton last season fired Woodcroft at the 13-game mark when they only had 3 wins in 13 games. The Bruins aren't there yet. I thought last season Edmonton waited far too long to pull the trigger. Edmonton was lucky to come back last season, only having 3 wins after 13 games. It is very hard to come back from that. I do think that it's fair to say that Montgomery is on the hot seat now, and the next couple of games are make and break for him. All the shortcomings right now fall on him, because he's the coach. The players can continue to say the right things game after game, but if the results stay the same night in and night out, something has to give. I truly don't know what the answer is right now, but my optimism is shrinking by the day because I see no signs of improvement. That's a wrap on today's video. To stay up to date on all the news surrounding the Boston Bruins, please subscribe and drop me a like. If news breaks surrounding the Boston Bruins, be sure to check out the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you, and I'll see you next time.